What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox. Welcome back to another edition of Spoiler Talk. I have been taking a short break. Apologize to my viewers for this momentary lapse in my usual streaming schedule, but yeah, basically, the house where I'm staying is a big family home, and it's that time of the year in Italy when all of the school kids are on holiday. So my house got inundated with all my little younger cousins who wanted to take me out, and I basically went out on Saturday with the youngsters and got completely smashed. And got home at 4 in the morning, and yeah, it felt good to be out with all the little like 20-year-olds and stuff, but I'm not that age anymore, and I freaking felt like an absolute piece of crap the following morning. And honestly, I was just way too hangover to stream, so I skipped the day. I did just chalk it off as well. Look, it's also a Sunday, so it's all good. Sunday is the day off of anyway, but yeah, sorry. So that was just a long-winded way of saying I'm sorry for skipping on some spoiler talks, but here I am back again, and luckily it's a quick one. The Saturday, 3rd July, there was only 17 cards spoiled, so I can go over these quickly. I've had a quick look before I started the video, so I'm not just shooting in the dark like last time. But anyway, that's why I call it spoiler talk. I'm more interested in like having my viewers just pop on and see where with me together and just discuss them. I don't think I'm going to really be talking much about what decks they would fit into unless there's something obvious. It's more of just like an exploration of the new cards together with you guys. So here we go. Card number one is, beg your pardon, Talisman of the Trickster. A artifact equipment for 1 blue. There's going to be lots of equipments and lots of artifacts. I'm really excited for hopefully it is the time of the equipment deck to come into standard. I've been trying to make one for a long time, ever since Nahiri dropped in Zendikar Rising. I was convinced that there would be some sort of cool equipment deck, but yeah, I mean, things like Embercleave and Skyclave Mall have been sort of the best equipment we have in standard, which hasn't been quite enough. But now with this set, there's a lot of good new stuff going on in the equipment world. So keep your eyes on the channel. I shall be definitely attempting an epic equipment deck like one of the first weeks of the new set dropping. By the way, if you haven't already, I would kindly like you to consider liking and subscribing to this channel. It would really help a brother out. I would love to push it to 100 subscribers by the end of July. I'm really trying to make that goal. So yeah, if you could be so kind, if you enjoy my content, to kindly leave a like down below and hit the subscribe button, and of course comments and little bell icon and all that good YouTube stuff. It really helps me out. Anyway, where were we? Equipment. Talisman of the Trickster. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. Talisman of the Trickster. Oh, you may sacrifice the artifact. If you do, you create a token that's a copy of this creature. That is cool. That is really cool. No wonder it's uncommon. I like that a lot. There's some cool new copy effects in the new set. And this is the black version, so I'm assuming they're doing a full, one of each color of these talismans. Talismans of Segador. Whenever an equipped creature attacks, it gains Death Touch until end turn. Whenever an equipped creature attacks alone, defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. With an equipped cost of 2. That's also really good. That's a really good equipment. For like a man. That's a really good one. I like that. Here's a 3 mana. It's the second wolf we've gotten in the. Now the other one was a werewolf, the 2-drop in double green. It was a werewolf, I think. But anyway, this one has a pay 2 and not tap. Okay, but so it's weird when they do that. I mean, obviously, because then you want to attack him with it, but like it's then they always have to add this text after activate only once each turn. Otherwise, you could just pump a crazy amount of mana into this and make this into a whatever based on how much mana you have. But it can only be done once, so it becomes a 4/4 with haste. So you could drop it hasted attack. It's pretty good and limited. Don't think it's going to see much standard play. There's much better cards in the 3-drop slot for mono green. And this is just another variant of the art from the previous one. I'm not going to read it, but pretty cool. I quite like these, even though I won't be spending my hard-earned gems in Arena to buy them. But I guess if you're opening paper packs, those are pretty nice to hit. Here is the legendary dragon for the blue category. I saw another one today. It's probably in the spoilers just above this. I'm going to do another video after this because I want to break it up into parts based on each day when spoilers happen. But there, I think I saw the black one. There's some incredibly busted stuff going on with these mythic dragons. I cannot wait to make a 5-card dragon deck. Like a Gruul Dragons deck I've already looked into in my theory crafting sessions. I'm just dying to get in the lab with this stuff. It's going to be so much fun. Alright, next up. Where was I? Flying Imrith Desert Doom has Ward 4 as long as it's untapped. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Then if you have fewer than 3 cards in hand, you draw cards equal to the difference. For 5/5 flying that costs 5, 3 and 2 blue, with Ward 4, it's pretty good, but I don't know. We'll have to see. The green one so far is so much better. Old Norbone, 7/7 that makes all those treasure tokens. I can see some crazy busted stuff that will be happening with that. This maybe a little less, but still pretty good. Pretty interesting. Maybe there's going to be so many more dragons to choose from than usual that it's going to be really crazy to like find space in the deck and decide which ones fit and which ones don't. There's a lot of them on similar mana curves, points on the mana curve. So like 5-colored dragons is going to be whack. I wonder. We'll have to see. But yeah, with the world tree fixing mana and so many treasures, I think 5-colored dragons with Tiamat is going to be a thing. Whether it's super competitive and like takes over one of the other decks in the top 3 or 4, if it unroosts something like Sultimatum until before before rotation, I'd be really surprised. But we'll have to see. Next up, this is a cool one. I was really hoping they would have a card like this. It's basically a Goblin Lord. Anthem effect. All other goblins get +1/+1 for the Hob Boss. 2/3, so it's out of Bone Crusher range. And it deals damage to any target equal to the number of goblins that enter the battlefield under your control this turn by paying 1 and tapping. And I've seen many ways of like making this ability pretty busto. You just drop. There's going to be a lot of goblins entering the battlefield every turn. If I've got anything to say about it, I really cannot wait to play Goblin Tribal Mono Red. I'm really keen. Especially with all this token creation and card draw, that now through all these cool new artifacts are available for the colors that don't typically have access to those things. Mono Red is something other than just the usual freaking Fervent Champion, Robber of the Rich, Anax, Torbrand, Embercleave. That whole thing is just going to finally change into something else, which is less obnoxious to play against and funner to play. Because I do like me some Mono Red aggro, but just not the current one. It's just too boring. Anyway, sorry, where was I? Potion of Healing. When Potion of Healing enters the battlefield, you draw a card. So this is some card draw for white. And then you can sacrifice it for 1, and you gain 3 lives. It's kind of an artifact version of Revitalize, which costs 1 extra mana. But, maybe some sort of like a... It's a cool one. It's kind of like a golden egg in a way. There'll be some decks that want to have a lot of artifacts on the battlefield, like... If you have this on the field when you're playing some sort of maybe Jeskai Dragons with also Galazeth, and then all your artifacts gain, tap, make a mana of any color, then that could be cool. But we'll have to see. Probably more in a mono white deck. We'll have to see. But that's a really good art, and I like the design. Next up, we have another Rogue. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. 3 mana, 3/2. It's rubbish. No one's going to play that. Then Demogorgon's Clutches. Is this some, are we going to be seeing a Stranger Things secret layer drop in a few months' time? The Demogorgon. Three mana, 2 and a black for a sorcery. Target opponent discards 2 cards, mills 2 cards, and loses 2 life. That's pretty cool. Probably might find a slot in one of those Turgid decks or something like that. Hand hate deck. That's not a bad effect. It's a little bit pricey maybe, but for all of that, that's not bad actually. Paladin's Shield. Oh, love me some white cards with Flash. Flash. When Paladin's Shield enters the battlefield, attach it to a target creature you control, and it gets okay. So it's kind of like a combat trick that makes a blocker they thought wasn't gonna survive a block into a blocker that can survive a block. 2 mana, 1 and a white for a flash equipment. That makes you have a better chance of blocking something and maybe surprising an enemy. That's pretty cool. I like that. Aha! This one was one I was really looking forward to talk about, and I am still sort of on the fence, but I think there's a lot of ways to make this extremely busted. There's some cards with some incredibly good enter the battlefield effects in this set and in general. Some sort of flicker tribal. Also once Yorion rotates out, but also like there'll be ways of using Semester's End, that new card from Strixhaven, and this, and maybe Thassa and Yorion in a sort of maybe a Esper deck or something like that. This is crazy. 4 mana for an enchantment called Teleportation Circle. 3 and a white. Rare enchantment. It says at the beginning of your end step, exile up to one target artifact or creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Epic. I like that very much. I am not sure exactly how I'm going to bust it, but I'm going to find a way to bust that. Because you could have Elspeth Conquers Death over an artifact or creature. So you could bounce your Yorion at the end of every turn and rebounce everything again. Or, there's so many good ETB effects. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. So this is the... Next up here we have the alternate art for this Imrith Desert Doom. I think I kind of prefer this one. Although this one is pretty damn epic as well. Both really good art. Nice one. Good job, guys. So I'm not going to read that one again. We know what it does. Weird card. Next up, we have Split the Party. 3 and 2 blue for a uncommon sorcery. Choose target player. Return half the creatures they control to their owner's hand. Round it up. Token creation deck. Mono red deck. There are so many decks that this might be really good against. Just sort of, bloop, off you go. Half your board goes back to your hand. I can take a breather, rebuild, maybe counter some of those stuff as they come down again. It might be really annoying, like as a 2-of in the mono blue deck. Some sort of new tempo in mono blue that seems to be, like I've mentioned a few times now, in these spoiler talks, seems to be emerging out of the meta. Some kind of a, mono blue tempo deck, which isn't just a bunch of counter spells and then ending in Kiora Best to Sea God, but there's slightly. I love it how what he, like I've said many times in my streams, hate them on them as much as you want. Give them crap for all of their horrible choices when it comes to the Pro League and all of that. But honestly, personally, I think it must be really damn hard to do their job. And I think they do a really good job of it. As far as making new sets and releasing new mechanics and keeping the game interesting, it's been going on since 1993, guys. And it's like just never stops surprising us with new things like these class cards. Whoever saw these coming? Genius. And it's going to change the game. And then because of rotations, it's always evolving. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, I love Magic so much. Next up, we have a 1 mana rare Human Knight with Menace, for which you can pay 1 and a black, tap it, pay a life, and then it creates a treasure token. So, token creation in black on a 1-drop that you can create a token with on turn 2. Ooh, some sort of Aristocrat's deck also, because it's a human. I can see this working. Oh, Mosquito, don't you dare come near me. I will kill you. And then it's got another ability on it which doesn't require a tap that says target creature gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. And if mana from a treasure was spent to activate this ability, that creature also gains Death Touch. And you can give it to multiple creatures as long as you have lots of treasures to activate to do that. So, because it doesn't require a tapping. So, pretty cool. Doesn't say have to do this once every turn like that other card from earlier. So, interesting. And you can do it to yourself, of course. which makes it a 3/2 with Death Touch and First Strike. No, just Death Touch and +2/+0. That's pretty cool. Target creature means you can target itself. So it gives you something to do if you don't have a turn 3 player. You put this down turn 1. Turn 2, you pay 1 life, create a treasure token. Turn 3, you pay the treasure token costs with the token you just created and give it plus. So you've already attacked in once on turn 2. Oh no, you don't. You tapped it in to make the token. Then turn 3, you attack in for 3 with Death Touch. So you might get rid of. Also, you can do it. You can do it reactively. So turn 3, if you haven't done anything else, you keep your mana untapped. They attack in, and then you give it. It's a way of preventing them from attacking because you can give it +2/+0 and Death Touch during the blocking declaration section of the combat phase. So pretty cool. It's a new Druid. A new class. We haven't seen this one yet. It's broken the pattern. So not all the classes that are uncommon cost 1. This one costs 2. Pretty cool though. Static ability when it comes into play, whenever a land enters the battlefield and you control, you gain 1 life. That's incredible. Oh my god, there's gonna be some incredible new decks. Like this is changing so much, and the classes are gonna fit really well into a lot of the old decks, and like this much needed breath of fresh air in standard. We really needed this influx of new mechanics, new cards, new things, and it's a big set, a lot of new cards just before rotation, and then there's going to be the double Innistrad drop. Finally, like rotation. Standard was just getting incredibly stale, and I'm really happy for this. Sorry, so let me continue. The level 2, you pay 3 mana at sorcery speed the following turn if you want, whenever, to upgrade it from Druid class level 1 to a class 2, and you may play an additional land on each of your turns. So that's like the ability of the one enchantment creature from Theros, 3 mana one. Also a Druid, I can't remember now. Luckily, I keep my client open during these streams, so although you guys cannot see it, I can quickly search for things. Let me see if I got it right. Is it a Druid? 3 mana. I got it wrong. It is not a Druid. What I have to do though is put on the filter on Theros and Dryad, not a Druid. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, that you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Although this has the added ability that says lands are you control of every basic land type in addition to their other types, but it is rotating out. So then the third thing when you reach level 3 is when this class becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. It is still a land. Whew! That's pretty cool. Might be like that game ender that they're not aware of. Suddenly you can like boom boom, they got no blockers, all you have is lands left, you're top decking, you've got this in play. You can make a really big hasty land thing and swing in for the kill. Pretty cool. I wonder if it'll see any play. Next up we have Treasure Vault. I think we saw this on the previous spoiler talk, but anyway, I'll pop into it quickly. It's an artifact land. So, in your colorless decks, tap to add a colorless, but then you can also pay X 2X and sacrifice a treasure vault and create X treasures. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Sucks that you have to sacrifice it, but still, okay, it kind of makes sense. All the treasures do that. It's right with the flavor and all of that. So if you pumped into this like 10 mana, you get 5 treasure tokens. Is that right? I think so. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Might definitely need to run a couple of copies of that in any sort of like colorless Ugin thing you're trying to do. That's a nice way of ramping. All right, and that's it. Fortunately, like I said, it's a short one. I'm gonna pop out quickly and finish chatting with my aunties and uncles and little cousins, and then I'll be right back to do spoiler talk part 7. So that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. Again, kindly consider subscribing and liking the video and all that good stuff down below underneath this the description of this video. And that is it from me. Talk soon. Bye bye. This is Lone Fox signing out.